Good morning, officially, if you're blabbering over here. It's just beautiful looking out at this view. How blessed we are this morning to be here together in this time-space continuum and share this moment. I am so honored to be here with you this morning. When the Ways of Light team got together and conspired to create this event, I'm going to read what my thought of our mission was. It was to share all the knowledge, the light, and the love that we had individually into the collective of all of you. Each of us having the intention to be a catalyst for transformation. Within us knowing that we will also be transformed. Okay? And I still get a little bit nervous speaking, singing in public. I don't care how long you do it, it always happens. So I try to visualize everybody, that old trick of visualizing everybody in their underwear in the morning. It kind of makes me smile. How you doing? But seriously, okay? I want to get to know each of you individually this morning. So I've asked that we take a microphone for feedback once we get really rolling here, and I want to become friends with all of you before this cruise is over, And we're going to be all hanging out on Sunday night with our pajamas on around the pool deck doing a full moon ceremony, so we better get intimate before then, right? Am I still within the parameters?
You're good.
Okay. So this full moon I'm really excited about. I couldn't sleep last night. So my roommate can attest, my cabin mate, that I woke up at 7:15 and had a oh shit moment. Because I'm not one of those people that wake up really fast. I have to slowly ease into it. And but I jumped and no makeup. This is how you get me this morning. So just threw my clothes on and came this morning. Brushed my teeth. I did brush my teeth. You're welcome. But I'm very honored to start this whole ball rolling. Hopefully we'll get all the kinks out of the audio visual and make sure that we get a good recording for all of you to share afterwards. The full moon that I'm going to be doing on Sunday night, I want to talk a little bit about, is about challenge and change and opportunity. And I will elaborate on that more on Sunday during the ritual. And I'm going to take us all through a guided visualization because we do want to start this change, this transformation within us. Or we wouldn't be here today. None of us would be. We're ready to be ready. As Abraham Hicks says, we are ready to start moving and shaking and going into the action that is necessary for us to transform. And you have to have a run the middle, whatever it may be, whoever you call to when you're asking the universe, whether it be creator, infinite wisdom, God, whoever it is. We have to have some type of faith in that energy because this energy of this cycle that's going until March, when all the planets are, nothing's in retrograde, everything's direct during this lunar eclipse. And it's all about bringing about what you want in your life. Who are you? Who's your authentic self? But you have to decide who that is. So as I said, I'll get further into that on Sunday. But my lecture today is about the process of remembering. And some of you probably ask yourself, well, what are we remembering? What are we remembering? Well, first, by a show of hands, and I'm sorry I can't really see y'all, but raise your hands anyway. How many of you believe in reincarnation? Almost the whole room. How about parallel timelines or multi-universal versions of ourselves that we can step into? Yeah. That's why we're all here together, we're soul family. Well, since I was a little girl, I've always been fascinated by the concept of time. We all have our own choices and agendas that we make about perceived allotment of time that we have available to us. And whatever our history is in our family, you know, if Uncle Joe lived to be 70 and, you know, Mom and Dad passed away in their 80s, that kind of gives us a mental picture in our head of, oh, I'm going to live to maybe 75, 80 years old. So we in our weird thinking, that's sometimes unconsciously there because that's been the experience that we've lived. But when we get older, you know, as I said, sometimes we think we're on borrowed time, okay? We have to hurry up and get, you know, we have our bucket list. We have to hurry up and get everything done, okay? We're running out of time, we're gonna finish it. But I think that time is perhaps one of the most ridiculous concepts that we as physical beings ever came up with. Because we are eternal. And, you know, as Greg said last night, we think outside the box. Ain't none of us, we're all wired differently. I gotta move over? Sorry, thank you. I told you I was a rebel. Bad. I have to walk around when I'm talking. But anyway. So we all come up with these ridiculous things and ideas and concepts behind what we're going to do with our time or how much time we have left. When I would challenge you to perceive time as we're never going to run out of it. There is no right or wrong. We're never, ever, you know, going to have the last opportunity to do something, because if we don't do it in this lifetime, we're going to come back and do it again. So just understanding that, it makes you live a little bit differently, as I think all of us do. And all of us are seekers of knowledge because we want to raise up to that higher level of consciousness where we're more aware. We want to be catalysts to help the younger generations. At my age, I know, you know, I want to teach my grandchildren, my children, I want to pass that legacy on so that people are more aware in their consciousness of being kind, of making the moments and the memories of our life valuable and having meaning when we cross to the other side. Okay? But time's like quicksilver in a thermometer. It's a continual, eternal motion. Okay. And during a meditation, I was thinking about this many years ago, you know, about thoughts that we have, about memories, about people that have passed, people we miss. We just have that achy feeling that we just wish we could hug them one more time, or and just all kinds of memories that come to us about past lives, and then some of us having remembrances of another life and missing and aching and longing for those experiences over again. So, but when I came out of this meditation, a poem was given to me, and I couldn't write it down fast enough. And this was the poem that I mentioned to all of you last night that I shared with you on the USB drives. So after we have a little interaction with this poem, I think you might appreciate it a little bit more. But after this meditation, I felt one of those timeless moments, and I wrote this down frantically. And what I'd invite you to do this morning, I want to share this with you, and I want to get the feeling of what emotions and what memories and what vibrational frequency that this arouses in you. So I would ask that you all take some deep, deep breaths and close your eyes. Take a couple of More breaths in, relaxing. Let us get into the flow of this day. Just resonate with the sound of my voice for a minute. I want to ask you to envision in your mind a beautiful goddess. She's standing within a circle. She's facing the east. Her arms are outstretched up towards the heavens, raised high. She envisions a memory of herself, and she speaks verbally into the dancing wind. Creator, my mind keeps drifting back, embracing a familiar object that it has caressed over and over again. There is a bond forever joined that is unbreakable. Memories, like a blooming flower that never dies. A remembered joy so powerful that the ache of longing for it again brings almost unbearable pain. This is not a memory that fades like the sunset into indigo waters. And although I have tried with all the power of the universe to drown it, this memory echoes and whispers to my soul. Time keeps moving forward, and I, like the dancing wind, I am swept along, unable to pause on my journey, and like the wind, unable to speak, only to feel. But I am numb, wondering why I have been caught up in this storm, this twisting tornado of time. I wonder if you too remember. Can you hear me calling out to you? If you can feel the caress of the dancing wind, like the gentle touch of a feather captured in the dancing wind. I know, our paths will cross again. And so it is. And I will invite you now to slowly open your eyes and just kind of let the feelings that were invoked within you marinate a little bit. And invite you to share with us all what that invoked, what feelings, what emotions that invoked. And do we have someone that has a microphone? And who would like to share any feelings that you had with that, listening to that poem? Anybody? Don't be shy. Oh, we're not awake yet enough this morning?
Peacefulness.
Huh?
Peacefulness.
Peacefulness. Anybody else? Just shout it out if you don't want to. Resolution. Okay. Full circle.
Yeah, it was really a good poem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody? Did you feel like a melancholy kind of feeling? Anybody? Bring back any memories of past lives, past experiences? Okay. Well, there are the times in our life where we experience such a sense of ecstasy that we want to freeze time. We wish we had that power. Don't want this moment to end. And then there are times that we go through that are so painful that we just want, with whatever means we can, obliterate that memory. We don't ever want to think about it again. It's just so painful that it just hurts us. That's why we have people that are drawn to alcohol and addictions of any kind, to try to just erase that. So, but this is in linear thinking that we're limited and that we don't have enough time. So when we become aware of the aspect that we are eternal, yes, are you raising your hand?
The camera went off again. She's okay.
Oh, okay. When we get when the light bulb goes off and that epiphany moment happens that we are eternal, we have a different interaction and experience with time. Okay? We start to slow down. We don't think we have to do things so quickly. We savor moments. We hug a little bit longer, a little bit tighter. And we really resonate and get to know individuals and people because we know, hey, I've been with you before in a past life. I remember you. You're my soul family. And we all have those moments when we meet somebody, and I've had several experiences like that definitely on this conference already, that you meet somebody and you say, I feel so comfortable around. It's like slipping on an old bathrobe. I feel so comfortable around that person. I could tell that person anything. That's how you know. It's that gut feeling, that instinct. Yeah, that feels right. That feels good. So I ask you to follow those instincts, those urges. Have any of you perceived our perceptual reality? And I teach this in my dream analysis class, that we only have what the experiences are, or in our vantage point that we're standing, whether we're 5 years old, 50 years old, from all the experiences that we've had in this physical incarnation, that's the only vantage point we have to go to, go back to process this information that we've gone through. So, let me give you an example. Somebody that is having a dream about a cat, and they're trying to do a dream analysis on this. This person was attacked by a feral cat when they were young and got bit, scratched up, had to have stitches. Okay? Are they going to process, having a dream about a cat the same way that a person who had 5 cats in their house and changed their litter box and had them purring up on their chest? I don't think so. So our perception of that experience is what's going to make us analyze that information differently. Okay? I'd like to share a story with you. This is really how my mother, who was eons ahead of her time, she was a Pisces. Pisces are very futuristic. They see things before they happen. In the 70s, she was teaching metaphysical classes and things in her house and doing counseling for people to help them understand these things that were going on, this awakening that was happening. But before that, I was 7 years old, and I started having these very, very intense dreams about another little girl. Didn't look like me, but somehow when I woke up, crying to my mom, I knew that this was me in my dream. And I was reliving all these memories and these experiences, some of them very beautiful. The mother in this dream was very loving. She was artistic. She had paintings all over the place. Father, however, was a different experience. And I relived in these dreams my death experience. Also, at that age, at 7 years old, I was run over by my father in a truck because he was jealous of her, the attention that the mother gave to her. And her name was Melody. many years later, I used that name for my pagan name because we all choose this numerologically correct name that resonates with our energy, and it fit perfectly, go figure. But, I mean, this is kept happening over and over, which led my mother, who devout Catholic woman, who had, switched over to that religion because of my father, who was Irish. She was Native American, so she converted and had been converted for many years. I'm the baby of 7, so it was a long time that she was a devout Catholic. But she, that led her on a journey to get answers for me. Well, why is my 7-year-old child having reoccurring dreams about, but at the time we didn't know that that's what it was, that it was a past life remembrance. I was 7, I had no comprehension of that. She just couldn't understand it either. And we went and she took me to talk to the nun. We talked to the priest, and actually one very open-minded nun told us that we needed to go to a psychic and find out if they could explain to us what was going on, which I thought was very before the times back then. So she did. We went to the Temple of the Living God in St. Petersburg, Florida, and she met Reverend Zimke. Okay? Many, 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 many years ago, and I think he's just celebrated his 50th anniversary or something of being the speaker of the temple. But he did a past life regression with my mother in the room and took me into hypnosis and explained exactly what had happened. So then this just blew my mom's mind. Of course, I was happy my mom kind of already figured out what was happening, and now she knew how to help me get through this, because Reverend Zimke told her what to do, so that I would stop having the nightmares. Sure enough, I stopped having the nightmares. But that opened me up after that, once I became aware in my perceptual reality of what I could understand at that time. I became aware that I had psychic gifts. Okay? I was having prophetic dreams. I was hearing people talking to me about people that were around me, and okay. Thank God I was born into the mother that I had, because she really didn't call me crazy. She listened. She helped guide me and founded the Metaphysical Attunement Center, which I have continued on to this day. And she passed in 1983, so that's a long time. But the experiences, as I said, we go through. Has anybody here had a past life remembrance that they'd like to share with us? I would really like to get. Where you want to start? Bobby, start with you. Can we wait till we get the microphone? We get a microphone?
I can talk loud.
But we can't hear you on video.
I had a past life done with a divorce canon. And yeah, she's passed on now, but I was actually taken back to Ireland, and I was in a field barefoot, and she took me down some stairways to get me back to my past life, Oh, sorry, Mike, sorry, I'm not talking to Mike. So anyway, I found out, she asked me where I was. I told her I was in a field with no shoes. And I do remember her asking me about my mother and my father. I told her that my mother had passed and that my father was with me. Anyway, this was in about 1900s. And my father was a very wealthy landowner, because I remember me saying that he had passed and left his cash to me, and that his sister I told her she best be on her way because all she wanted was his money. And that I had eventually, I'm just doing the short version, I mean, there was a lot more. But that I had eventually, she brought me to the day that I had died. And all the town had turned out because I had started the library, the school, all in this town. And I asked her, why did you show me that life? I mean, why am I coming back to this life? And she said, we talked. She asked me why I chose to come back to that life. And I said, because I was a girl that had power in that time and that day. And that I wanted to know where I am now, that I was capable to have that power. But I've had a few past lives done, and I don't want to go in and keep going. People have
But
other
no, but
past lives.
how did that resonate with you? Did you feel after receiving that information that it was true?
Oh yeah, I know it was true. I was talking like I was from, I stutter you guys, I'm sorry. So I keep going over and over and repeating myself, trying to get to the right word. But I felt I was talking in a brogue. I mean, I was actually talking like that on the tape.
Right.
And I could remember it all. And
So that's definitely confirmation that this is not the first lifetime you've been in, and a powerful woman, which again you are
woman, yes.
in multiple lifetimes, a powerful woman, empowering others. So that's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. How am I doing on time? Am I 15 minutes? Okay, let's get a few more people to share because I saw some hands. Can we? I love getting to know you guys. I love this stuff.
Okay, so I'll make it quick. I've actually had 2 past lives in Atlantis. The last time was at the end of Atlantis, and I know that there's a lot of Atlanteans that are here right now. But my most recent past life was as a Mayan elder during the Spanish Inquisition. Now, I'm a quarter Spanish, so it's kind of ironic that I was a Mayan elder being invaded by my own ethnicity. But I was an old man, and they threatened to kill me if I didn't convert to Christianity. And I lied. I said, of course I will, but I lied. And I ended up passing on my indigenous knowledge to the children and the grandchildren afterwards. So that was being raised a Methodist and 2 Christian parents. It was quite awakening, and I also came in with a knowing that there's something not right about religion. And I think it played through that past life, and that was my remembrance.
Awesome, thank you for sharing that. Which explains why you are drawn so much to the water as well. You're always surrounded by water. That Mayan energy of.
Well, it's interesting. Yeah, I keep going back to Mexico.
Yeah.
I've been to Tulum several times already. I'm just drawn to the Mayan culture, and yeah, the water does have a lot to do with it
Right.
as well. I live on Siesta Key, right by the water, and it's got a connection right to the other side of, to Mexico. So I have to be here, and there's a reason why I'm here, and there's a reason why we're all here right now doing what we're doing. I think we all might also have some kind of Mayan indigenous connection. That's why we're all here. I know Nicole does. That's why she has her tattoo on her side.
I certainly do.
Right.
So yeah.
My mother studied the Mayan culture from a shaman. That was done in secret. I remember she had to get the booklets, the instruction booklets from this shaman in a brown paper bag wrapper, like it was a penthouse or something, because that was very taboo back then. It was coming out of the States, and nobody could know what it was. But I mean, she had boxes and boxes of these books from this shaman that she was learning from. So yeah, we all have that connection here somehow or another.
And so I went to a friend of mine who was a healer, energy healer, because I had trouble with my shoulders. As a little girl, my shoulders kind of come out of joint, and I thought they were hurting. So I went to her, and she regressed me, and I saw myself as a boy, young boy, like in middle ages, actually with a big heavy hammer, hammering, tempering swords. And I was in a hurry, and it was very, very muddy, and it was rainy, and I was very, very scared. Hammering away the fire in the blacksmithing shop, and I couldn't do it fast enough, and I died. Somebody, killed me. So what I do now, I'm a silversmith. The hammer I use
wow, I
every
just
day.
got goosebumps everywhere.
Hammers are, have hundreds of hammers, and that's my job.
That's fabulous.
Now I want to know the energetic properties of the silver and the copper used in technology, and more about the powers of the metal, not only the killing power, the healing power.
That is amazing. Thank you for sharing that. Wow. So, anybody else? Anybody else? I don't want to run into
We
your
have one
time.
more over here.
I was asleep in school, and I popped into 12 or 13 simultaneous death experiences. One of them, the first one was a sword fight, and then I got impaled through the chest, and I woke up, and I wasn't fully awake. I was sort of just, I had my eyes closed, and then I got pulled back into another one of the experiences, and it was a solid dozen of them, just over and over again, different things throughout different centuries, and trains, and a bunch of other things. It was interesting.
And I'm sorry, but can I ask how old are you?
16.
And case in point, from your perceptual reality right now being 16, having lived on the earth for 16 years, and now experiencing this is forever going to change the way that you walk forward in life and relate and share with others. So when all the awakened ones talk about the indigo children, the crystalline children, count yourself in
I
there.
think I was told once that I was crystal.
Crystalline, yeah,
Something like that.
totally. Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah, pay it forward, share that information. Thank you so much for sharing that this morning. So that's, like I said, as, anybody, did I miss anybody? Want to share? I know we're trying to wrap it up because we don't want to miss Nicole's talk either. But as you can see from my experiences like I had in the beginning, at 7 years old of reincarnation, and the experience I had, which I didn't get to share with you, but we could talk. I'll share this with you. I had a near-death experiences when I was 20 years old, and I crossed over. There's no doubt about it. And I've talked to many people that have had near-death experiences. They're so similar. Little intricacies are different, but very similar in the experience and information. Thank you. But well, if you're interested in that, I will find me somewhere and I'll share that story with you. But having those experiences definitely changes my perception of time and how we relate to time, and that if we've lived before and that we go on after we cross, and I'm still an entity that has this awareness, then what am I worried about? What am I scared of? What do I have to fear? And how should I live my life then? So that's what this book is I'm writing about, and I share in detail in the process of remembering of why we need to understand that, and that's how we remember, is how we resonate with these experiences that we have, and that there's a reason that we have these experiences, that we are supposed to go forward and shine our light with others, okay? So once a concept or a thought has come into our awareness, It can never be unseen or go in the dark again. We are forever changed. All right, and I'm going to try to wrap this up. I apologize for going long here. We had a little technical difficulties this morning. Are we good? Okay. So your definition of who you are by all of the experiences that you've gone through in your life is your own prison. Okay? And I would invite you to seek out, search, talk to people, understand that knowing in your solar plexus of things that resonate with you that is your truth. To understand time and how it relates to us. Because at any time, in any moment, you can free yourself from that prison. Just understand that. Okay? I thank you so much for sharing and being here this morning. I bless each and every one of you, and I can't wait to talk individually to you. Have a great day, and we're going to have Nicole come up.